and happy Spring Forward Day. I hope you're having a good day so far. Now I'm going to do our morning meditation, and I invite you to join me. And we each have our own way of meditating, and they all are right in our own way. So I just invite you to join me right here, right now, because it's a thrill to actually share this time with others. So please just close your eyes and be right here, right now, in this moment. And just hear the hum. The hum right now here is the air moving in the building. If I was at my home, the constant hum is a busy 32nd Street going back and forth all day long and all night long. But it becomes a hum. So if there's busyness around you, just relax and feel instead the hum of life, the hum and the song of every moment of every life together as one. Relax, feel, experience the hum of life. And really listen to where that hum is coming from. Because it's not just outside, it is within us. It is a hum that goes deeper and deeper and deeper into the very soul of our being. Feel that oneness, that hum of life. Feel that connection to life. That is who you really are. Sometimes I laugh and shake my head, just thinking all the silly thoughts that may come through my mind. And they're thoughts that really take me away from the miracle and the joy of life. Instead, we enjoy now in our soul the quietness, the peacefulness, the knowing that every breath we take is a brand new moment of discovery of self and a new moment of sharing who we truly are. The hum of life, the peace, the calm, the beauty. And as many of us have experienced this week and perhaps earlier, the Canada geese going overhead, and see them in your eyes, and see them as they land. When the water is melted in the ponds and the rivers and the beautiful lakes are there, see them land and glide and settle down in a calmness, a beauty, the reflection. See that pond or that lake and see the spruce trees reflected off the water. Hear the buzzing of all the insects around. Perhaps there's a beautiful dragonfly comes by. The beauty all around us. We just need to open our eyes and see. And that beauty is within us. For what I have just said are all memories. And yet the beauty has maintained. The beauty of life. The hum of life. Breathe and relax into that hum of life. Feel your body in the chair or wherever you may be. But don't just feel the body. Feel that tingling. Feel that life force. Feel that energy. That is not just who we know who we are. It is the divine mind. It is the spirit of the mighty Creator inside of each and every one of us, just waiting to burst forth. Just like you see the flower and the spring. I find it so amusing that one of our first flowers that bravely pokes its head up and oh my goodness, it just bursts forth and shines and sings, I'm here, and it's called a dandelion. And so many people don't like them. But nothing gets in the way of that plant, for it has a mission to live, to be of glory to the earth, and it does so. And when I see the first dandelions, I really know, yes, spring has come, and the crocuses in the fields, spring has come. And the color of the dandelion is beautiful, the same color as the sunshine. The sunshine that gives power to the earth, life to the plants. So when I think of these simple things, I think of how many things in life are such an integral part. For life is very simple. We each are a gift to the world to live, to grow, to expand. And we are each so beautifully individual. Feel that breath of life within you. Feel the body that you are living in at the moment. And know that as a creation of the one mind, that every single cell in the body will renew. That it is not just some made-up idea of a form shoved into a body. It is a life form of the divine. That if there is any pain, any hindrance in the body, or the mind, or the soul, that the divine mind is ready, willing, and able to correct the situation to the right and perfect outcome for each and every one of us. A healing or an answer to a question we have been asking for so long. The answer is there, available within us. But it is not us that gives us the answer. It is that divine connection to the life force itself that heals, that teaches. That is who we are. Beautiful individual expressions of the great universal mind. So we're not just breathing in air, we're breathing in life. So I choose now to breathe in a healthy body, a strong body, a mind and a soul at peace. Peace, deep peace within. And I choose to be connected to the knowledge that has always been available to me, but I choose to open my ears, my mind, and my heart to the knowledge of the divine, that universal knowledge that always has been, that knowledge that is here now. And the most incredible thing is the continual knowledge of growing and learning and new discoveries. Wow, what a fantastic world we live in. What a fantastic experience. And when I think about it, the next person I meet may be someone who has an idea that may totally change the way things are in the world. I choose to see each person I meet as a beautiful expression of the divine. I choose to let go of any beliefs that anyone may be less than or better than me. For as we are all divine, we are all gifts of the Spirit to the world. And instead I see myself link my hand with a fellow human. And they in turn find someone and they hold their hand. And I see all kinds of faces, little children. I see people that are very old, all different shapes, sizes, ages, cultures, holding hands. And we feel that connection. And I squeeze my hand, and the person that I'm thinking of, that I'm hanging onto their hand in my mind's eye, they squeeze their hand. And that connection goes to the next, and the next, and the next, just like the electricity when we turn on a light. That love, that connection, that knowing, the divinity that each of us are, yet the oneness we are is there. And it goes beyond anything physical. It goes beyond anything mental. It is in truth the spiritual. It is the divine God essence in each and every one of us, recognizing that yes, we are one. Relax, be, honor yourself. Relax and feel that joy of life itself in all. Know all is God and all is perfect. Relax. You see yourself let go of the hand you imagined and just be at peace. 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 Beauty. Quietness. Knowing. Divine mind is in, as, and through all. Release. Relax. Release. Relax. And be right here, right now, right in the beautiful divinity of God. And so it is.
Good morning, beautiful beings of love and light. Those here and those afar, welcome to Center for Spiritual Living Red Deer. March 14th, I'm Reverend Joanne Faith, Peace and Love Boric, and I welcome Gord. Good to see you, Gord, and Susan, and Tress and Russ, and Reverend Judy, and Reverend Tress. You know, we're all here at your service. We are in service to a higher power, to a God essence. I had to really laugh this morning. I looked, there's the affirmations in like font 10. There's the affirmations in font 12. And here's the affirmations in font 16.
Take your pick.
Yoo-hoo! I guess it depends on how early you had to get up this morning. That hour sure made a difference for me. And welcome, Linda. So I'm going to start with our opening affirmation, and if you don't have it, just close your eyes and let us speak these words for you. Today, all things are made new. In this space of freshness and grace, I resolve to live each moment with an attitude of delight and wonder. The world around me is beautiful. All of creation is beautiful, and I am one with it. I feel truly and totally blessed And so it is. That's a great affirmation for Women's Month. It was Women's Day, but I think it just goes on and on. So we have another affirmation that we usually do with our children. And we'll just imagine they're all here. So you at home, take that into your heart and give it to your grandchildren or yourself. And the word is wonderful. It's called givingness. It is the nature of God to give. And we practice giving to bring ourselves closer to God. I am sure you've been told that if you want to have a friend, you must be a friend. Whenever it is what you want, that is what you must give. Whatever we give, we receive. And so our affirmation is, I give freely and fully and joyfully. I give freely, fully, and joyfully. Oh, I'm going to take that into my week. And now I get to introduce our speaker today, a beautiful lady, my friend and my teacher. We call her Reverend Therese. You might know her as Tressa Phillips. Boy, she's got a lot of great pictures on Facebook. I could just go on and on about how multifaceted that beautiful Reverend Therese is. But today she's going to talk to us about open to possibilities. And her talk title is Embracing Your Vision. So I'd really like to welcome Reverend Therese up to tell us about Embrace Your Vision. Thank you, Therese.
Thank you, Reverend Joanne. Oh my goodness. Spring ahead. Getting up early. I get up early anyway, so it just meant I was up a tad bit earlier. But yeah. So on our way here, we've been seeing geese. We saw geese on the way, and then as soon as we got out of the car, there's the geese. But Sweet Babu and I, we were talking about the geese, and it was, he's saying, when I said, there's the geese, he's saying, oh, that's the guy saying, hurry up, come on, let's get to the water so we can meet the girls. And I'm saying, no. That's the women saying, hurry up, girls, get to the water, and this is what you got to do to snag the guy so that we'll get the nest going. And we were killing ourselves laughing on the way to go to church just because we saw geese. But the joy that these birds are bringing, to know that the spring is here. You see, we're talking about open to possibilities. So are we open to possibilities? Well, are we even looking? Are we even looking? So if you weren't looking, I'm just going to give you a little idea of what you may not have, what I saw this week that pretty special to me. I started screaming and yelling at my poor husband to get out of the house. So here you imagine, here he is, what's going on? Coming running out, getting out of the house, and what's he seeing? It's the flock of robins that decided it would come by our house. There was about 8 to 10 of them. Well, I'm doing my little dance. He's looking at them. We're quite excited. It's a big deal. It means spring is really coming. But the thing is, I had to look. That was a possibility. We know it's going to happen. Look, there it was. So how do we react in life? What are the possibilities that are there? One of the things to do with the new reality of you can't go to offices, sometimes the people have to come to your home. We had a fellow come to our home. It had to do with business, so he came to our home. And we have a very old rescue dog. I've told you about him. And he's just he walks along and he just sort of, wherever he decides to drop, that's where he's at, and he's planted there. Well, this is, oh my goodness, it's so funny to me. We're sitting there, and here's Dan, that's the fellow, Dan, and we're there, and the dog's just kind of laying there. And all of a sudden, this old, toothless, can hardly see dog is laying there, and then he's going with the one leg. Eh, eh. He has never done that before, and I'm thinking, oh no, something serious. So I'm running over there, leaving the man that we have to do business with, and I think, okay, give the dog some quick, soft food. I give the dog quick, soft food. You know, I talk about miraculous healings. Little Monkey was doing some theatrics. He's never done this before. He's old as dirt, and here he's doing these theatrics that he didn't like us paying attention to Dan, the fellow. He wanted attention to him, and thank you very much. He'll take whatever food he'll get. And I'm thinking, hey, there's a lot of spunk left in this guy. But it was hilarious. This little old dog just doing his little theatrics and life, all these new things. And he thought of that all by himself. So I hope that's the end of his theatrics. I have no idea, but. So right now we're in COVID. Like we keep hearing it, so it's a new experience. But you know, we're talking about possibilities. We're open to possibilities and the incredible opportunities that have come because of this. And there was one that really touched my heart, and this is just in Edmonton. It's the George H. Luck School, and it's an elementary school. And the kids are really missing the communication and the being together. So they have Better Together Tuesdays. And the students, the teachers, and the parents have gotten together and they've made t-shirts of what is better together. So you have a t-shirt that says peanut butter and jam, or cookies and milk, coffees and donuts, bacon and eggs. And you can buy these t-shirts, but on the Tuesday, everybody wears a Better Together t-shirt. So the kids, they were interviewing these little guys, and I mean, that's their formative years. It's pretty important to them. And they're saying, you know, I really like this because I get to see my friends and we're all wearing the same clothes, or, you know, and it was a communication. And part of what we do so much is communication. It was really showing to me because hubby was watching the NASA network. We get it on our television. And right now they are working on the space station, the International Space Station. And we saw the 7 astronauts. We were talking Russia, Japan, and the NASA crew. Way up there at the space station. And they are fixing things there. They had toolboxes with the tools, and everything is tethered there. So they knew what was important, knew what was precious, and they made sure they took care of it so they could fix it. And they all got along. Communication, togetherness, cooperation, and recognizing what's important. And that was, they tethered it down. So are there things in our life that are important to us that maybe we need to give a little extra time to? Take care of ourselves in certain ways. Same idea. So I've been asking myself, since it's talking about open to possibilities, so what possibilities or opportunities have I been missing? Well, am I missing it because I'm afraid? Am I missing it because I'm stubborn? Well, yeah, maybe. But we'll kind of put that over there right now. But is stubbornness in the way? Am I willing to be flexible? Well, the dog sure learned to be flexible when he needed what he wanted. Am I willing to be flexible? Or do I believe that my way is the right way, and no matter what else happens, it's my way? When I get thinking like that, I have to tell myself, guess what? You're not the only person in the world. Why am I thinking it's my way? So that is the how do we learn? How do we grow? Opportunities, new inventions are what the opportunities are about. And anyone can bring something new to life that is going to help your fellow mankind. You know, fear keeps us hanging on to what doesn't work in our lives. And it also keeps us from surrendering to our good. Surrender has two sides. We surrender all that does not serve us. Then we surrender to our greatest good. And it's Eugene D. Holden that said those words. And I've worked with Eugene Holden, and that was to do with being a practitioner. And when we would go to the different meetings of the whole religious science group, they would have prayer rooms. And you could, as a practitioner or a minister, sign up to be in the prayer rooms. I was always in the prayer rooms. And quite often there'd be people that didn't show up or lacked time. So I spent a lot of my time in the prayer rooms, which was doing spiritual mind treatment for other ministers or people attending. What a great gift that opportunity was, to be able to do spiritual mind treatment, to be able to speak with someone else and discuss the beauty of the divine mind, the beauty of what's available to us just through doing spiritual mind treatment, through knowing that within us is the divine. Within us, we just say the word and it happens. Believing and knowing. So, have I ever asked, what areas in my life do I need to grow in? Have I ever asked Divine Mind that? So I've already mentioned I get up early. It's 5 a.m. or earlier. Some nights I don't sleep. So if I'm up at 3 or 4, I'm up at 3 or 4. And that's just the way it is. So, but every day, part of what I do when I get up, the first thing I do, I read. I read 2 pages out of the Bible, and I read 2 pages out of another guidance book. And then I ask Divine Mind God 2 things. I say, God, what is your vision for me? And God, what is your word for me? Now, and we're going to talk more about what is your vision for me, but I learned that from Dr. Arlene Bump, because she was one of the teachers that we studied under. And it was Dr. Arlene Bump that said to ask God, what is your vision for me? Every morning I ask that. And a newer one I've been asking is, God, what is your word for me? I don't always like what the word is. And I hear this when I say, no, I don't like that word. And then I hear that inner voice saying, too bad, that's the word, work with it. So mine today was patience, and I didn't like that word, but I'm going to work with it. What do I need to learn from the word patience? How can I become a better person and better to those around me by using patience? And how can I make myself a better person if I am patient with myself? I meditate every morning. After I ask those questions, I meditate. And after I meditate, then I journal. So it takes about an hour for me. So 5 to 6, that's the best time. There's nobody else up normally. And I can have a quiet time without a lot going on. It's called taking care of yourself. But it's also because of what I have done, I have a roadmap, a spiritual roadmap of what I am to do today. And every day it's different. But what am I to do today? And it helps me throughout the day. What do I need to work on? What do I need to do to help others? What do I need to do to learn? Because one of the most important things for me, and I'm not sure for you, but my number one importance, I need to learn, I want to learn, and I will learn. And the second most important thing for me is just because I've learned something in the past does not mean that's the way things are now. So help me be flexible to learn the new ways. What can I learn about the new ways? So the word patience, I know that part of growing up, a lot of it was for the girls. You'd see someone had a ring. It'd be that humongous rock of a diamond ring. I call it bling, but here, oh my goodness, look at that ring. Well, the reason I'm bringing this up is what is it I'm looking for? Do I run around looking for the so-called jewels of life? And yet they're not really jewels. They're just sidetracks to that deep spiritual knowing inside. Because you see, everything I need to know is already within me because it is divine mind expressing in me. But what is my purpose? What do I need to do with what I have today to work with? And I have learned that just because I have these wonderful things today to work with, there is no guarantee I will have the same things to work with tomorrow. So work with what I have today and do everything I can to make myself and the world around me a better place. So have you ever knocked on a door and nobody's there? Nobody answers. Well, how about knocking on our own door? The door of our soul. You see, nobody can answer on the other side except ourselves. So if I'm asking questions, am I really willing to work on it and find out the answer within myself? The answer of the divine for me. And when I hear the answer of the divine, which will be, you are a beautiful gift to the world, you are divine, and maybe there's areas I can improve, let's see how I can do that. Am I willing to go there? Am I willing to really learn who I am? And am I willing to let go of others' opinions of me? Because believe it or not, and I know we all know this, other people have opinions. And there are people that seem to be kind enough to voice the opinion and say, I don't like this about so-and-so. I don't like this about so-and-so. Oh, this is wrong about him. That's wrong about him. Well, bless you, but I don't need to hear that. I need to know ways to grow, to be, to make this world a better place. So am I watching what I say, what I think, what I speak? Am I seeing the beauty and the joy of all around me? See, we are all divine expressions on the physical level, each uniquely gifted. How could we be anything else? There was a lady that some of you know, her name's Edith Schaefer, and the Looking for the Jewels. She was one smart heck of a lady. She went to our church for many years. She lived out on a farm, And she had this beautiful sandbox and great little grandchildren. She would take pennies and nickels and dimes and she'd bury them in the sandbox. And the little kids would come and they would just dig for hours finding these little bits of money. So what is it we're digging for? What are we working after? Is it what we really want? The little jewels. Are they really what we want? And maybe some of them are. So my favorite verse is ask and it shall be given to you. Seek and you shall find. Knock and it will be opened to you. For everyone who asks receives. He who seeks finds. And to him who knocks it shall be opened. So that's pretty well what we say. Ask, believe, and receive. What is it you are needing? What is it you can do to improve yourself? What is it you can do to improve the world around you? Ask. Receive. And sometimes that word that begins with W comes, and it's work. Sometimes we have to work for something, and sometimes we have to work darn hard. But through all my years, and I'm certainly not a little kid anymore, I've realized I'm the only one that can do any of the work in my world. And why should anyone else want to do any work for me? No one owes me anything. But I owe it to myself to make the best of what I could be. So open possibilities. We're going to talk about visioning. And it's a bit different from visualization, which is a method of forming a mental image of something good. I want a car, and it's going to be like this. No, visioning is what we were talking about earlier. It is the meditation. It is the asking God, divine mind, what is your vision for me? It is the practice of openness. So God, what is your vision for me? Am I ready to hear what the vision is? It wasn't that easy with the idea of being a minister. Ask any of the ministers. But it was something that had to be done. Because that thirst inside and that knowledge, knowing you need to be a minister. You need to share the wonderful truth that we're learning with others. Well, how am I going to do that? Well, you're going to have to work. Oh, okay. And you're going to have to get up in front of people and talk. Oh, all right. And you're going to be up there and sometimes people aren't going to like what you say. Are you strong enough for that? Well, if it is what I find divine mind is telling me to do, and I'm reading the truths out of what we are learning, yes, yes. Part of the openness is the releasing, the letting go of what we once were and opening up to new things. And there's actually a great song that we used to sing here, and it was Byers and Beckwith are the people that wrote it. It's called I Release. And I'm sure some of you remember, I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. Feel that, not just words. Feel it in your bones. Like feel it, feel it, feel it. I release. What is it you want to release? I release. Feel it go. And I let go. I let the Spirit, the divine mind, that divine energy, that life force run my life. I open up my heart. I embody my good. Yes, I'm only here for God, for the divine mind. I am here for life, for I am life. Pretty special words. Part of meditation, excuse me, is emptying our minds, and they talk about emptying our minds. And I used to do a lot of meditation. I don't do quite as much, but I would do deep, deep meditation. And part of the meditation is when I would reach nirvana. And it would be peaceful. It would be quiet. And it'd be nothing. And something would happen. It would be nothing. And then it would be, what was a, there is a point in meditation that you can become so deep, deep, deep that you don't breathe. And then the thing is, your body says, nah, you're supposed to breathe. So it's kind of like you've been underwater for a long time and you have to come up and get your breath. It's a, and then the nirvana was gone. But those were incredible meditations. And we can do that, but only for a short time. Because we're meant to live, we're meant to be here, we're meant to share. So you see, in reality, we can't empty our mind of ideas. At least I found out. Because A, you have to breathe. That works. But what we can do is adopt an attitude of openness by silently asking ourselves a question: what in divine mind is the highest idea of my life? And then live it from there. When practicing visioning, we ask ourselves these questions. The divine presence, what is the divine presence wanting for me? And then we adopt an openness and a willingness to learn, to grow, and most important, a willingness to let go of any preconceived ideas as much as possible. That could be our opinion of ourselves. I'm not good enough. I'm not strong enough. Whatever is in the way, let it go. Because every moment's a new moment. Every breath is a new breath. And we have the miracle of life to live it as in each individual person. So what's the nature of my voice within? Am I listening to that still small voice within? It can be mysterious, but not immediately apparent. We really need to dig sometimes to find what it is that's within us. And it reminds me of Edith Schaefer and her sandbox and the little kids. They're determined they're going to find that nickel, that penny, that dime. And what did those little kids do? They found that nickel, that penny, that dime. And even years after, Edith was still finding nickels, pennies, and dimes in the sandbox that the little kids had missed. What is it we need to dig for? It's worth it. Is the truth of who we are worth discovering? I believe so. So I'm going to ask you, in your own mind, each of you, is the truth of who you really are worth it? Are you worth discovering? if you don't think you're worth discovering, and that's your whatever you believe, then is not the divine within you worth discovering? Because that's who we are. Each an individualized expression of God, the one infinite reality. We have access to infinite wisdom and intelligence, and it flows through us to the degree that we set our ideas. So it's kind of like in the spring. How much good, how much connection with the divine am I allowing? And I see in pictures. So every year at my old house, and for years at this house when I could do it, we are always the house that gets that great big water puddle in front of it. And I remember the old house. Here I am, the woman, here I am. Here's these guys that are working on the oil fields. Here's these guys that go play hockey and come back. And I'm chopping away and digging this little river. And they're saying, oh boy, you're doing a really good job there. Look at it. And they just kind of, with their 6 foot whatever body, they go into their house and the other guy goes into his house, and then they drive over the little water thing and then flatten it out, and I got to dig it out. But the thing is, they no longer had the big puddle of water to drive through, because this persistent little person came and chopped all the ice away. So are we persistent? Are we digging a channel? It's worth every moment to dig and discover who we are, because I don't want to miss who you are, because I think each of you here have something to teach me. And I certainly need to learn a lot, I know, because I'm just part of the growth of the humankind. And if any way I can teach you, I'm thankful to do it. But together we make the one unit of universal life. That's who we are. So we're not the little guys, we are all star pupils living our own lives. And yet together we're shining, like when we were watching the fellows on NASA, and it was so incredible, I almost cried. You could see the stars of the whole universe, and they were different colors. I was amazed, I couldn't believe it. So sometimes our experience of self-confidence is so overwhelming that we forget the limitations by which our lives are surrounded. So go for the self-confidence. And it was Howard Thurman who said those wise words. So in closing, I want to say a treatment, and it is, I freely and with joy learn the miracle of my life, knowing that every moment is new and full of opportunities. And so it is.
Good morning. It's such a joy to be here with everybody in the room and everybody who's watching. And thank you, Reverend Tress, for a wonderful message. Thank you for your wonderful meditation that came before we started. And let's continue right now by reading our prosperity affirmation. The nature of our universe is abundance, and so I know that my world and each individual life partakes of that bounty to the extent that we believe and accept it. I make the choice to believe deeply and to receive freely. I give freely too, and I prosper in all things, and so it is.
So it is.
And you know what? our center needs to prosper too. And with not very many people in attendance, we don't collect a whole lot in our basket. But if you're watching, you can share in several different ways. You can go online to our website, which is cslreddeer.org, and hit the donate button, or you can put a check in the mail to Center for Spiritual Living, Red Deer, Box 28075, Red Deer, T4N7C2, and that will get to us. Or you can phone the office and say, hey, I'd like to sign up for committed giving, so a certain amount will come out of my bank account once a month. Because you know what? We need to keep our doors open so we can have more wonderful meditations and wonderful messages. So thank you for doing that for us. And with that, let's go to our closing affirmation. I go about my daily affairs knowing that God is good, and so am I. I partake wisely and joyously of all good. I know that the truth of my being is spirit, and spirit speaks from that sweet, sacred place within. I live from that place, from the divine of me. Life is truly wonderful, and so it is. Let's now just take a minute or two for spiritual mind treatment, or if you like, you can call it affirmative prayer. Right here, right now, in this moment, I know that there is a power, a force, a wisdom, a love in this universe that is greater than I am. But in truth, I am one with that and partake of that greatness, that love, that power, that wisdom. And today I choose to exercise that power that is given to me by declaring good and only good, by seeing good and only good, by using words of support and encouragement to myself and to everyone else in my experience. Today, I take one step at a time toward expressing more fully the divine that is the truth of my being. I give loving thanks, knowing that all good is flowing through me, and so it is.
So it is.
Thank you.